and we'll roll the old printing press along. We'll roll the old printing press along. We'll roll the old printing press along, and we'll all hang out in kind. Howdy, folks, it's Johan, your favorite your favorite little ink blob, back at it today with some more Celeste. But, yes, we will do a hydrate, thank you kindly. Ba-ba-da. And welcome in, everybody. We've got a bop and chat with already some stabbage. Friendly stabbage, though. Blah. Noise. Just very, very briefly, Carsey, you were... Man, this feels loud to my ears. Boop. Let's try that. You're just about to fall asleep. But no, just very briefly, like, don't know how serious your question was, but like, if you accidentally dox someone, I am of the opinion you do your best to quietly remove whatever the offending info was. Not draw attention to it, and then probably apologize to the person would be my procedure. But yeah, still this room? Yes, exactly. Love this room. Definitely not going insane. And hey, welcome in, Pug. But everyone drew attention to it. Yikes. Well, I mean, again, you do what you can with it. If people are aware of it, like, they're aware of it, you can't really undo that. But again, you just try to basically reduce the spread as much as possible without making it a, oh yes, haha, let's try to turn this into a recurring joke as much as possible. Hardest room in the base game? Yeah. I'm starting to understand. Have a total of 0 progress on 9D. Alright. Oh, just picked a random spot, it turned out to be where he lived. Well then, I feel like that's something where... I mean, that's not really so much you as they still had to confirm that that was indeed where they lived, so, you know. Harder than farewell, goodness. Boop. Oh my god, Pug Celeste's map? That seems terrifying. Wait, do people do what? Boop. No. I love a tepid disagreement. This shall not be a hot take, just a tepid one. Oh, make jokes of an incident like that? Yeah, a lot of folks do. Because for a lot of people, I think privacy, especially on the internet, is not something that they consider particularly important. So it's more of a, oh, haha, rather than a, oh, hey, that seems bad for the implications that has for my internet presence kind of thing. No, the green, blue bubble and the red bubble? Yes, I do. Is it going to be some sort of interesting alternation of those? Wow. Boop. Making this level pack, and Robert is helping you, and now I want some more people to try and make some levels for it if they want to. Oh, that'll be fun! Well, there are a bunch of mods that add new bubbles. I see. Boop. Starfall and Feather Trek still get you. Wait. Oh, brain. It's like, that seems close to things, but Featherfall and Star Trek, but oh, that's... My brain, please no. Just a map based fully around every single bubble ever. Hell yeah. Bubble time. Wait, is it... Please tell me it's called something like Bubble Bath. Oh, of course. Certainly there will always be more bubbles. No. Learned how to edit numbers to actually work as text. Okay. Intriguing. Oh, that was literally just coincidence that... Okay. It's making my brain itch, though. Ah, I see. numbers works as text that refers to itself. Called it Bubble Trip because it sounds cool? No, that Bubble Trip still sounds good. Look, just because I love terrible puns does not mean everyone is forced to. Oh, how many bubble types? This is a good question, Electrode. So one is flag would turn that same one into a flag. But if there was another one, would the other one also be turned into a flag? It sounds like no. Yes, okay. Okay. So it would turn all, so it's a text and object. Okay. This is acceptable and understandable. Wah. I can tell my voice isn't quite prepped for today. There's some, I don't know exactly what it is. I think, hold up. I'm gonna take another sip of water and see if that. Wah. 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 No. Okay, there's still something there, but we'll see. Voices are strange. There's some days where it's just like, ah, yes, everything is working fine, and then other days you're like, voice, could you, like, not sound like a dying camel? There've been a couple of times at work where someone has, asked for, like, some assistance real quick, and I have to, like, take a moment, hold up my finger, because I'm like, I can tell if I open my mouth right now, it is going to sound like the screams of the damned, rather than actual words coming out, because I haven't really spoken much today. But hopefully if I can get into a more customer servicey position, I will be talking more. Happy Mario Day? Why is it Mario Day? But welcome in, Alyssa. 310? Why would that be Mario? Oh, okay. I gotcha. Happy Mario Day. Fantastic. Is a Saturday Rhythm Doctor stream happening anytime soon? I really don't know, Nobo. I keep wanting to make it work, but I've had all of the job applications, and unfortunately, I heard back from at least one of them, and it's not, it was a no bueno on that, and it was the one that I was most likely able to do. And so what's probably going to happen is I probably need to go back to I need to start working retail again, to make sure that I'm actually able to support working part-time at a library. Goofiness. So it's gonna be a while, and I suspect I just may end up not being able to stream at reasonable times for a while, depending on how that works out. But well, when are we getting more channel point gifting to Johan lore? I still need to finish writing the lore that I already owe you guys. Turns out that apparently writing large blocks of flavor creative text is something that I enjoy doing, but enjoy doing less, and brain is bleh after having to write basically multiple several-page essays on, hey, this is why I'm a good little worker, please hire me. There was a very small part of me that wanted to add an ooh-woo onto that, because it would be funny, but I apparently have too much shame. Wrote an entire adventure story. Oh, nice. That is a lot of colors of bubbles. Dear God. I can see why you might not use all of them. Hey, welcome in, Robert. See that one drawing Pug made. The U one? Yes, I tried uploading it as Discord emotes already. I'm recognizing it needs the eyebrows and cheeks, while they are absolutely amazingly done for full scale, are not quite emote thickness. But no, they are absolutely adorable. I'm so glad that Yuhan exists now. It's a superhero called Breadstick Woman, and my friends were in it too and need to defeat the evil Dr. Axolotl because he wants to stop Christmas from happening. I mean, that just sounds like an absolute blast. Breadstick Woman. Honestly, I feel like I would feel satisfied in life if I was at a point where I could financially support myself enough to buy like a basket of breadsticks every day and just go sit out at the park and hand out breadsticks to passersby. I know that's not quite a superpower, but like I feel like then I could get a reputation as the breadstick man or some such, and that sounds lovely. But you're breadstick woman, indeed. And that's why you are able to spawn them directly. That's becoming God. I mean, the question is, like, is it actual, like, spontaneous generation of breadsticks? Or is it using, like, the environment to synthesize them? Because if it's synthesizing them, I'm not sure that, or, words. If you're synthesizing, there we go, them from the environment, that is certainly absolutely incredible manipulation of atoms and molecules, but still fundamentally something that, who knows, maybe we could eventually achieve with science. Generating them, creating energy and matter, now that would truly be godlike. Creating matter from nothing? Yep, then that is indeed godhood. The ones I want to use are Curved, Boom, Yellow, and Spiral. Curved Boom. Boom Bubble sounds great. Curved Bubble just kind of sounds like someone overly describing what a bubble already does, but I'm guessing it has a curved path. I have heard of Slime Rancher Nobo. I have not played it. That does not seem like the kind of game that I would not be driven insane by, but I know a lot of folks like it. Maybe know a little too much. Breadstick ladder, breadstick sword, breadstick airplane. I feel like a breadstick sword would be brittle. It would either be very brittle or very floppy, depending on the type of breadstick, but I do not think either would make a very effective long-term sword. Slimes are adorable, which is why I will happily have other people play it for me and go, oh look, cute slime. Whereas I would go, these slimes are cute, but I'm giving them up for adoption because I was not ready for this level of responsibility and should not have adopted them in the first place. Before the indigo quarry existed. I'm sorry, you're mining indigo? Am I off base? Isn't indigo a plant? Is that... that's not something that gets mined, right? Ooh, okay, right. Under. We go under, and then we try to either basically walk and dash through, or we get bounced up and over. It is plant. Okay. Hey, welcome in Impact. Bleh. It's not, but Slime Rancher is funny like that. Fair enough. Most oil is just plants. This is true. I had in my head that indigo was a plant, which it is, but there's also a lot of mineral dyes, so I was like, did I get this confused somewhere? But no, okay. Because yeah, I was like, indigo I thought was like a very big cash crop in like colonial America. The puddle slime? Aw, puddle slime sounds adorable. Believe it was? Yeah. Now picturing mining plants. I guess... arguably... I guess I don't know if I have a perfect definition of what mining is, but the recovery of, like, petrified trees and other basically fossilized plants, would that, in a sense, be mining plants? Or, I know a lot of fossils are not really the object themselves anymore, they're basically an impression that has been formed by a slightly different mineral content created by the leavings of the organic material. It's one of the big ones alongside sugarcane and tobacco, I believe. Okay. I did find out, funnily enough, while those were probably, like, way more important for shaping the industries of that part of the world, you know, something transatlantic slave trade, I do know for a fact like, I came across it. I think rice was grown in, like, the southeast US, which surprised me, but I guess it's relatively, like, swampy wetlands, so you can do, like, the flooding required for doing rice paddies, which, I don't know, I don't think of that part of the world as matching that kind of climate. Like, Liquid Blob likes being in pond. If there's more than 4 puddle slimes until they get shy. Aw, it's me! Oh god. Yeah, no. You're not wrong. Hey, welcome in, I almost said... I almost read your whole name, but welcome in, Ollie! Good to see ya. Or... yeah, I guess... it's good to see the shadow of you on the wall. Is this... I don't know my philosophy well enough to make a joke about Plato's cave, but... is chat just a projection of people on a wall, and I'm assuming far more about it from the shadows I see dancing upon my cave wall? But nah. Like, the only slimes that existed were Pink, Rock, Tabby, Fuzz, Boom, Honey, maybe, Water, Old Model, and Golden. Huh. Favorite slime, Hunter. I'm sorry, a hunter slime? That's concerning. Why am I on a wall? I mean, the digital wall. I don't think I've ever actually, like, read Plato's Cave. I've just heard enough people talking about it as a philosophical thing, but, like, it's the concept, I believe, of someone living in a dark cave with a fire behind them that they are never able to, like, turn around to look at. And so they would see the world with shadows passing between the fire and the wall they're looking at, and then would make observations about those 2D shadows that are not actually necessarily true of the 3D things that represent them. Much wild rice grows in the Mississippi and Missouri basins. Huh. Wild rice. But I assume that was still imported. Rice isn't going to be a potato, right? I know that's a very weird thing, but, like, I think of rice as a staple crop mostly in, like, Eastern Asia, where I know there's, like, monsoon season and such. But it's native? Really? Wow. I will need to look at the origins of rice, then. Rice isn't going to be a potato, yo. Well, because, like, potatoes, I think I associate that with, like, early European industrialism, but they came from Peru. And think about how different the world would be without the, basically, agricultural power of the potato being brought over. English ballpoint pen, German, Kugelschreiber, French, Kranzabile, Netherlands, Balpen, okay. Holland, oh, I don't know how to pronounce that L. I looked it up at one point. Lugopasi, Italian, Benasfera, Czech, Kulichkove, Pero, something like that. Hungarian, Goryosto, and SK. Oh, what's SK? But Gufolskove Pero. What's SK? I don't know. Not imported. So it's not imported in the US, but then was it also native in Asia? Potato, sweet potato, girls last year? Yeah. Dutchies eat a bunch of cooked potatoes? Yeah, potatoes are great. I'm legitimately, like, Slovakian. Oh, I should have known that. Okay, intriguing. So why didn't... I don't know why I didn't get that. Different cultivar. Okay, so they are still both rice, but just different kinds in the same way. Like, you've got both old and new world wolves. Turns out dog-like things exist in many places. That's fascinating though. Huh. You watch Pokemon on YouTube having the best time? Hell yeah. But no, I guess it had never registered for me that there was rice native to the Americas. Huh. I've been done a learn, because, like, I I remember being surprised that that was a crop that was used over there, but huh. The one that introduced the actual Johann slimes? Oh, are there like little ink slimes? Bum 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 bum. Because I know that Africa also has a fair bit of rice, which I guess I haven't actually looked into where that gets grown over there, because again, my understanding of rice is that it requires a fair bit of water to be done. I guess they've got the really warm climate in most parts of it, and there's a lot of jungles that presumably have a high moisture content. So probably, I don't know. Huh. I have not considered this, but I still, like, I assume that rice probably came to Africa through the Silk Road, but I guess I just assumed that rice was introduced to the Americas through Atlantic trade. Huh. It's goofy, the concepts we get. Boop. Ah, no. Nile Basin has the most regular flooding of... Oh my god, you're so true. No, so yeah, Egypt absolutely makes sense for that. And all of the so sort of northeast Africa. I know that like jollof rice is fairly popular in like Western African cuisine, I think. It's funny, I've tried to make sure that I know a little bit about a lot of countries, but I don't know, I guess, a lot about the geography of them? Huh. How is sable slime called in English? Sable? I don't know. Well, that probably depends on how they translate. Also, sable is, I typically associate with, no, I'm thinking satin. I was like, sable fabric? No, but sable is like dark or black. Saber slime? Really? Huh. Rice and cotton were historically Egyptian exports to the Ottoman Empire. Huh. Fascinating. Cotton I expected, I guess, because I know that was grown for clothing, and have seen that in some old like textile documents, but I didn't think about that with rice. Wonky. Dervish slime? Is it a windy little guy? So chaotic evil for no reason. I mean, with a name like Dervish, I feel like they got it. Spinny Boy. Okay, yes. That makes sense. Wait, I'm sorry. A Quicksilver slime? Does it... A, does it adjust with the temperature? Ah! A, does it adjust with the temperature? And B, does it poison you if you touch it for too long? Mochi Miles. Aw. It races? Ah. Dervish slime makes tornadoes when they get mad. They look like Saturn. I mean, with a name like Dervish, this makes sense. The little spinny boys make tornadoes. Whirling dervishes. You don't feed them to create a tornado that just breaks everything. That's amazing. That's amazing. Best way for a pet to hold a tantrum. Supernaturally and destructively. Oh. Did not hit as high as I needed to. What? Annoying? Never. Surely not. Quantum slimes are up there too. You won't believe what those bad boys do. Do they move around when you're not looking? A whole bunch? Boop. There was also part of me that was like, oh, maybe it's going to be something about, like, quantum as in, like, a portion of, a quantity of. Which I was then going to argue, well, wouldn't anything called a slime be a quantum of slime? But realized that had gone too far. They can just straight up teleport. Oh, wow, okay. Not even when they're mad, just normally. Huh. Quantums enter a superposition state where they duplicate, and those duplicates can go through walls? Pardon? That would be... That would be a particularly terrifying form of reproduction for any sort of creature. Just making duplicates that can phase everywhere. I guess it's not quite the same, but I suppose fungal spores, there's a certain element of like, oh, yeah, no, those will just kind of get wherever and can seemingly get through places that you think they were sealed off from. Slimes are fungus confirmed, or at least quantum ones. And then collapse into one of those duplicate versions. Yeah. They can align them with them and collapse in. Okay. They're plorts? I'm sorry, they're whats? they're okay. I was thinking maybe that was like a weird abbreviation of teleport. Like, oh yeah, they plorted. But now I'm starting to assume that's like baby slime? Byproducts of consuming food. Oh. Ah. So not their children. I see. So they're, air quotes, plorts, rather than going into the toilet or staying there. Teleport? God, what a nightmare for sanitation. The quantum slimes get to be free range. That's probably fair. Main way of making money is feeding slimes and selling plorts. Oh. Okay. Huh. So their plorts have, like, useful chemical and or magical properties, so this would be like farming bats to sell the guano for, like, making gunpowder kind of equivalent? Due to their diverse properties. So, okay, so you're just a straight-up, like, wizard component salesman. This is, you know what? This is certainly making me more conceptually interested. Ah. The high road terrifies me, but the low road, I don't think I've even done once successfully. Slimes can't have children, silly. Slimes grow on trees. Oh, yes, I'm so sorry for assuming that the slimes were not, in fact, fruits. Can the slimes make the trees that they grow on? Slime Rancher is a type of game, especially in the late game, where you can go do one thing and suddenly 5 hours pass. Uh-huh. Oh, chickens also grow on trees. Of course, silly me. But yeah, no, that's... Gotta love those games. Feels a little like, okay, today on Lingo, we're going to complete this pyramid. 5 hours later. What were we setting out to do again? Or is it less the like, oh, you get sidetracked on a bunch of other things, and it's literally just like, that one thing, time goes by, and you go, wow, I just spent 2.5 hours walking both directions in real life to go, like, feed this group of slime. Pink plorts, produced by pink slimes, for instance, are a generic omnisubstance which is usable everywhere, from cleaning products to food to robotics. So help me God, if someone serves me pink plort from the cafeteria, I may throw hands. Boop, boop, boop. Go to a Subway sandwiches and it's like, what flavor pink plort would you like today? You can mix slimes as well. Okay. Boop. Current main save on Slime Rancher has chickens all over the place because funny. Okay. The drones aren't charged, so things don't get transported, which means no one gets fed, which means the dervish oh. So you can be creating your own unique slime breeds. Quantum plorts are integral to teleportation technology. This makes sense. Yes, Lingo 2 in 3 days, indeed. When a slime eats another slime's plort, they fuse. This is a sentence that I have just said in public that I will then be preserving for the internet and posterity. I'm not sure how I feel about this. We even use them to create smaller teleporters and power larger ones already built on the islands. Huh. If a fused slime eats a third plort, they become a tar. Oh, so they can't mix too much, otherwise they just become a sticky mess. Fascinating, though. I'm trying to think, like, I guess it's really not all that weird, all things considered, when we think about, like, how often, animal products are used, especially in, like, medicine, right? I think we've talked about, like, horseshoe crab blood and such. So I guess it shouldn't weird me out that much, but I don't know. Something about the same substance being used to make meals and for robotics. Oh dear. The finicky slimes in the glass desert. Huh. Okay, boing boing. Ah. Professionally annoying. Has to be the ringtail slime. Chaotic silly all the way. What would a ringtail slime do? I'm guessing that's meant to be like a raccoon tanuki kind of deal. So it's just a little mischievous slime that will find every which way to get places it shouldn't go. Where there's a crime, there's a ringtail slime. This makes good sense. Boop. Raccoons are funky little creatures. Ringtail slimes can eat absolutely anything and will not stop eating, ever. Hell yeah. They also become stone at sunrise. Oh, okay, so definitely sort of like a Tanuki dealio. Yoki slime. Seemingly integral to actually farming chickens nowadays. Huh. They just stop giving you plorts once they are full. Aw. I will say, sorry, raccoons has reminded me. My mother, I'm curious if anyone else knows someone like this, but my mother is someone who really, how to phrase this? Like a nice non-chewy chocolate chip cookie, right? Like a hard-baked chocolate chip cookie. In my opinion, is lovely. This is fantastic. I like what I consider to be normal chocolate chip cookies. However, while she will buy them for herself, she doesn't like them to actually be like, crispy isn't the right word, but not like dry with a good crumb to them. She will buy a package and leave the package open in a humid environment so that they will absorb the ambient moisture and become soft and stale. And that is when she will eat them. And it reminds me in a very strange way of raccoons dunking their food into water to make it easier to eat. Is there anyone else that knows someone like that, that has, like, will buy a food that is not meant to be away and then basically make it go stale or dips it in water? This is, I've so far, she is the only person I know who has done this, and it only drives me insane if it's something that, like, I've baked and then she does that. I would let her cook. She doesn't do it that much. You get soft too? Because you're reading too emotional of a book? Don't even need to largo the carnivores anymore, pardon? Mischievous expression. Oh yes, no, that makes... We love little mischievous tanukis. Prefer stale Nilla wafers. Interesting. Also, welcome in Quiet Panic. How goes? Stale Nilla wafers. I need to think about that one. Because I've eaten stale Nilla wafers, and they're not bad. I don't know if I prefer them, but I think that I might look at that as something that I think is valid and not a strict downgrade. As I hadn't introspected on that. Are there any foods that I actually do prefer stale? Am I throwing bricks in a glass house? Huh. You're in your podcast era, you think? Listening, watching, distractible. Is that the name of a podcast? Largo list challenge. What's a Largo? Are there any foods I prefer stale? Like, I I will happily eat stale things. I have some, like, it's not like the prepackaged ramen goes bad, but the flavor packets definitely get dicey after a time. But, like, I don't know, I will still make it work and just, like, add in some, like, bouillon and whatnot. But, again, I don't think I prefer that. Cake, I will eat stale, but, again, I don't think that... Blah, darn. Happily eat stale food, Johan. Well, stale, like, look, man, if I've paid for it, I'm not gonna let it go to waste unless it's, like, actively moldy. Which, I would like to state, for the record, is an improvement on the family tradition. Because 2 generations back, I have met some of my grandparents, who I love dearly, are very thrifty, to the point where I have watched one of them eat a just full-on moldy scone because they didn't want to waste food. Which, yeah. So, look, I have found, while I'm still happy to eat something that I would perhaps enjoy less, I will not eat something that will actively risk myself. Thank you for the hydrate. Love Pikachu so much. What a baby. Pikachu is adorable. Mice are just honestly very cute, and making it an electric mouse? Hell yeah. Till not that long ago, there were spices in the pantry that were older than me. I was born in the 80s. Oh, goodness. Now, the question is, were they still getting used and just lovely? And then you've cleaned them out, or, like... Okay, that does... I did at one point come across a lollipop that I remembered purchasing at, like, a fair when I was a kid. This was a while back, but I think that lollipop at the time I found it was probably about 12 years old. Which... Wow. Yeah. What is the oldest food stuff I have encountered? Never used them, but my 78-year-old mother quite possibly could have. Okay. I mean, I guess, like, with spices, as long as they don't get damp, that's probably fine. Johan older than 12 confirmed? Yes, indeed. The lore looks at Twitch's minimum age stuff, because I'm a weirdo who would actually... I guess you technically... People don't follow that sometimes, but I'm a weirdo who would. Between 12 and 99. Have I stated that I'm not 100? People can live up to 120 years old, especially if they eat the right spices, but crash. As I still need to look at that a bit more, but I remember for a brief period of time, I was really, like, obsessed with the idea of immortality. It was around the time where I discovered the concept of, around the time that I recognized mortality as being a thing that we exist in, and got really freaked out by it. But in the process of that, something that I found so there's the concept of the Hayflick limit, which is basically people don't live beyond like 120. That is just like, no. I know there's been at least one exception. There may have been more, but I remember reading about one exception who was a lady who lived to 124, and attributed that to her drinking astragalus tea every day, which apparently one of the like major concepts for why aging kills is the degradation of your chromosomal telomeres, which basically your chromosomes contain your genetic information that helps you, you know, make more of you. And at the ends of them, they're protected by basically super long chains of DNA that are just like junk info, which I believe it's like TCGA is like the pattern, something along those lines. But basically, as they replicate, those tend to get damaged and eat more and more towards the actual central bit of the chromosome, and the genetic information gets damaged, which starts to cause issues in how your body tries to rebuild itself, and thus the natural, inevitable process of aging occurs. But apparently, astragalus and a couple of other things have enzymes, which I believe are called telomerase, which are able to essentially repair the telomeres and can basically prolong the ability to replicate the DNA. I believe telomerase is something that is fairly typically activated in cancer cells, which is part of why they are so terrible to deal with, so I believe people were doing some research into using astragalus as basically an anti-aging thing, and I have not checked in on that in quite some time. I should look at that. Love how straight up just gives you his lab at one point. Oh, from Slime Rancher. Burns so many pink slimes. Oh dear god. But yeah, I hadn't thought about that in a very long time. I should look at that. Because I will fully admit, I am someone who, generally speaking, when I hear people talk about, like, plant-based remedies, especially for things that we don't, like, currently do, I'm usually like, ah, yes, so someone who wants to sell me something very expensive. But, thing is, most medicine, in a lot of ways, is just figuring out how to take very regulated, controlled doses of plant stuffs. Eating fire slimes? Oh, don't burn slimes. That's the only way to actually kill the slimes? No! Then yes, please don't burn them. As I said, even if I'm probably not going to play the game, they look adorable, and do not deserve the eternal fires of obliteration. Boop. Bam, bam. Ah. You could feed them to tars instead? Wait, so there's slime cannibalism? Gigantic sea where you can just throw them? But, I mean, does that kill them? Have we confirmed that slimes cannot survive at deep depths of water? Animals are cannibalistic too? I'm aware that many animals are. I did not expect the adorable slimes to be cannibalistic. I'm sorry, wait. Are you saying that the oceans are slimes? That the slimes survive and just vibe? The slime sea isn't water, it's, oh my god. That's almost more horrific? That it's not throwing them into a pit of water with the assumption that they are stuck down there forever and suffering horrible, horrible forces, but instead that they become absorbed into this greater organism? How do you think that you arrive back home after falling in the sea? The sea literally takes you? Okay. You know what? I'm coming around on this. This is actually way cuter. It's also reminding me, I've been getting... I don't scroll social media a whole lot. I've been doing it more, and I'm trying to break myself of that habit. But my Instagram has had a lot of, like, mermaid content recently, which I'm not gonna complain about. And someone did, like, a little, like, flash fiction story of, mermaids being basically people who had been thrown into the sea unfairly and then being transformed to take revenge on the sailors and such that did that to them, which I really like, and I'm getting slightly cuter but still like vibes from the slime sea. You have cast me into the void, and now I've become part of it. Now, if it's kind and carries you back, perhaps it does not seek vengeance and is actually happier in its new environment, which is probably a good thing, but not quite the same, we will transform you so you may better be an instrument of your own revenge kind of vibe. When you throw them in the sea, they go back into the land and pop out at the surface. That's why slimes pop out of the ground like that. Oh my god, wow, okay. Have I seen those comics of a trash mermaid thing? I don't think I have. But you know, I like that there's a full circle explanation for how the slimes spawn in that way. The cycle of slime. It's the problem-free philosophy, which breaks when they actually die by fire. So wait, I will not go into too much detail, so I do not spoil anyone, but for those of us who have been around for the Reupload stuff, which I still also haven't done my little write-up on, but does that mean Slime Rancher is basically Reupload, and the fire is what we did? The planet being called the Far Far Ranch? Oh my god. Like, right? And I mean, slug cats look quite squishy. Have we ever had a confirmation? Have we ever had a confirmation of what slug cats are actually made of? Do we know that slug cats aren't slimes? Probably why the glass desert slimes are extinct. They got raised in the cataclysm. Slime cats. I don't know why slime cat sounds less pleasant to me than a slug cat. Yes, actually, the devs said slug cat were originally called bears. Oh, interesting. Now that you mention it, I've never seen a Slime Rancher and Reupload in the same room together. Dun dun dun. Love a little good conspiratorial thinking. Whoa. I mean, genuinely, I would play a game called Slug Rancher. Like, in principle, just raising some slugs. Whoa. There's, nice jammer. Undertale, you've got, like, the racing snails, right? Why not some racing slugs? I guess, now, here's a question. I feel like games, generally speaking, get a lot more snail representation than slug representation. Do you think, like, I know they're not the same creature, but I wonder if it's because snails have shells, which allows for more artistic design. Because I feel like there's only X number of ways to, like, differentiate slug characters. Or am I, like, missing out on some, like, massive, slug, am I missing out on some sort of slug franchise? Oh no, the snail I burned to death by cheering him on too much. Yeah. The little Trash Maid comic, or are you referring to something else? Huh. I'm whether it is that or something else, I don't think I'm familiar with that. I'm curious. So a game about the creation and reproduction of purposed organisms from the perspective of an iterator would be sick? Yeah. So getting to play sort of the creation side of that, yeah. At least from like a story perspective. Mechanically, I'm not sure what you would want to do, but maybe play as something performing like a manufacturing task. My theory of the glass desert is that it's actually in the future of the Far Far Rancher where the environment is just completely messed up. Oh, so it's like a little slice that got transported back in time? Well, I do Bob on Baba's birthday. You said that was the 13th. I unfortunately worked the 13th. But we can see, I might try and do a pre-record then. Use that as an excuse to try and get myself to sit back down with a bit more of it. You get there via teleportation. Oh, and teleportation. Wherever you mess with space, you often seem to mess with time. A really, really big teleporter. Did I play multi-layered? No, I have not. I've not played any Baba since we did the stream, and I still desperately want to figure out one of those levels, but... The 7 Seas, yes! We are on the 7th sea, and have been here for apparently 4 hours in total. Because we keep doing stuff like that. Welcome in, Orisk. How's it going? The difference between a slug and a snail, that a snail has a shell? I believe so. I mean, like, there are other things going on with them. But that is like one of the biggest visual differences. How's life? Life has been pretty good. Still chugging along at the part-time library position. Applied to a couple of other ones, and it seems that by and large, they're looking for someone who's been in libraries for more than 6 months, or has a little more experience with other aspects of library stuff. So I'm going to be trying to pursue some job shadowing, and probably trying to pick up a second part-time job just so that I can afford to continue working part-time and getting that experience. But yeah, that's kind of the main stuff going on over here. So what's been nuts for you? We call a slug a naked slug, naked snail, or knocked slug. Okay, that's very nice and alliterative. Love that. Knocked slug. Knocked slug. But yeah, I mean that's fairly appropriate, because in general, that's kind of the biggest visual difference. What makes you think you can be the librarian? Well, to be clear, not applying to librarian jobs, because those require some further education. No, like I'm applying to like PSA work, which is customer service in a library and helping people with like a printer. And then librarian assistant, which is basically customer service, helping people with printers and signing up for other services, along with a little bit of research, which are all things that I'm fairly able to do and enjoy. But those are positions that a lot of people are applying for. And the fact that I've only been a page for 6 months does not reflect super well. Plus, they're asking for like customer service examples from my current job, which I can give them great examples from when I was working in retail, but it's a lot tougher when your paging job kind of prohibits you from doing the customer service work that is more than, oh yes, Ernest Hemingway's works are over here. Spent the last 30 minutes raging at Clash Royale. I know a little bit about Clash of Clans. Clash Royale I'm not familiar with. I'm sorry that you've been raging at it though. It is not fun when I'm assuming getting onto like a losing streak or rut. Sounds snazzy. Best of luck. Thank you much. Yeah, I still need to hear back from three of the other positions. It's just I got a call when not expecting it, because they don't typically work over the weekend. And it was for the position that I thought was going to be the least competitive, because it's at a library that has a reputation, shall we say. So I'm just sort of going like, probably not gonna make it this batch, but fill in with some other part-time work that is hopefully flexible around my career priority, and just keep on chugging, keep trying to find some ways to pitch myself, and try and also, yeah, see if I can like get to know some people in some of these places so they go, oh, hey, it's that Johan guy. Hopefully, he doesn't get too much ink on the pages of all the books, but I think he could be pretty rad. You kind of have a crush on James from Team Rocket? This is valid. Like, love a lovely foppish man who is not afraid to be who he is. I still remember finding out that he was like a kind of spoiled rich kid, but still like overall like really cared for his Pokemon, like his Carnivine. I thought that was really cute. And I mean, always appreciate a man who can cross-dress. Mentioned in Stars in Time before, I really think Johan would really like it, so I recommend you play it. Also, Sifrin is literally me. Okay. In Stars in Time. I think I have that written down somewhere. I'm going to jot it down again and make sure that I have that on my list. Mi listo. Wait, no. Listo does not mean list. That's, like, correct, right? Question mark? Maybe? There's my notes. Ba 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 da ba. That's stars. Yeah. In Stars in Time. Boop. Also has a free demo. Ooh. Nice. James is goated? Yeah. James is great. So just thought of something. The Yawn Rhythm Doctor thing I was making, I still don't know if I'll finish, but I can tell you all the names of the levels if you want, because those are planned out. Oh, please. I'm delighted. I will say, pulling that up did remind me, Quote was a while back, I believe, recommending Freerun, which just hit Netflix, or I guess, I don't know if it just hit Netflix. I just noticed on Netflix. I've been watching that, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised, because everything I had seen of it, I thought it was just going to be another kind of, like, oh, hey, look at the party go, look at the friends, but I'm pleasantly surprised, and it's scratching an itch closer to, like, Violet Evergarden than, the, like, look at the party go kind of stuff. Anything that does interesting things with, like, age and legacy, I am absolutely down for. It's just kind of good, calm vibes. I think I'm about halfway through. Highly recommend. Because that's, especially just, like, in general, I really like stories of immortality and sort of mundanity in it. Oh, that's, wait, hold up. Talking about immortality twice in a day. But no, like, I don't know, I think media that examines lifespans different from our own is very interesting. I don't know if it ever actually was a short story, because I don't think I ever actually read it, but I remember hearing about a short story wherein there was, like, a race of aliens that lived for an entire, basically an entire life cycle was 7 minutes. And just thinking about that really, really, really stuck with me. Because it just, I don't know, it shifts perspective a whole lot, I think. J0, a lore-accurate lullaby, yes. It's time, okay. Veranu, of course. Your masterpiece. Huh. Your masterpiece is the night mode of Veranu. Terrifying. What is one's masterpiece? J1 Knight is the one I will not say the idea behind. I see. That is the one that I'm most going, what is it? The others, I have some inkling, crash, but, If you do finish it, yay. Insanity is repeating the same actions, expecting different results. J1 Knight, oh god. You're true. J0 is based on community lore, your lore, yeah. The lore accurate lullaby. And then night mode. Rohan, okay. Yes. Oh, that's, I never actually answered the trolley problem that was put in Discord, which I've been reminded of because Rohan, because Rohan came about during the trolley problems. J1 is Veranu, yes. Just pure and simple, based around specifically my streaming instead of lore. Ah! It has more influence from the Meathon. Ah ha 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 ha! Bam. Boop. And J1 Knight is hee hee. J1 Knight is just a webcam that's live streaming my room, and I have to run away screaming in terror. Bomb path seems more consistent. Yeah, except I've never managed to pull it off. Because I agree, to me it seemed like it would be more consistent, but yeah. I don't know, maybe we should try it more. Bup, 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 bup. Because I think I've only tried it 3 times, which is probably not really a fair shake. Yeah! Man, that's a new way that I've been screwing that up today. I don't know why I've suddenly really started losing the ability to jump straight up there, but it's always fun when you've been doing something for so long that you're like, oh hey, I found a new way to mess it up consistently. You're not the failure I'm used to. Hold on. That one clip you post on Discord, learned how to use green screen Rhythm Doctor. Ah, nice! Let other images show through. Man, I need to think about I need to think about that trolley problem a bit. So, the trolley problem that was proposed in Discord was you can basically, on the current track, it will run over an infinite number of people, one at a time, killing them. On the other track, there are only 100 people, but they will come back to life and suffer infinitely. Oh, it's how you did the text thing in that one level. Ah. Gotcha. Whoop. That one mechanic I make where I added swing to subdivisions, called it a swing division? No. But like my genuine gut feeling on that is I think I would rather concentrate the suffering. I said I was going to try and do the bottom path, and then I did that. But I think I would rather limit it to those 100 people. And while that's deeply unfair, I think there's a certain amount of desensitization that would occur. And if not, like, I'm fully prepared for those 100 people to eventually break free and wreak horrific vengeance upon me, which would suck, but I suspect it may create some very interesting, very motivated people that would also notably be able to carry forward, like, multi-generational plans, which would be a very interesting thing for the world, I think. That said, I would also be doing something to them that would probably fill them with massive amounts of hate, so maybe not the best thing to unleash on the world, but I still think I'd go with that, and I don't know, maybe I could find ways to make their suffering a little easier, like try and form relationships with them, play them some music, like read the newspaper to them every day. I don't know. I think there are things that could be done with 100 people being infinitely killed rather than an infinite number of people being killed once. So I think I would prefer that one. Freeze beats? Something Robert, finish the sprites please. Something. The best part of group projects. The group. And coordinating. Boop. Ah, no. Or based on that, what is Robert not doing? Oi! Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Ba-da-ba-bum, bum, 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 bum. Bam. Ah. Sprites of specifically the words 2 through 9. Bum, 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 bum. Took him 5 seconds, so should, all in all, should only take another 45. Hey, welcome in, Klaga. How's it going? Is it Klaga or Klage? I'm assuming Klaga, but I want to make sure I pronounce your name correctly. But welcome in. How's it going? We're just vibing and hopefully sailing the 7 seas. No, it should take 50 seconds. You forgot 0. True, true. True, true. Good, good? Yay. Fantastic. Yeah, yep. It is, so far, 4 hours and 22 minutes of pain. Fortunately broken up over several days, but, Have not been making a great deal of progress on it, other than finding new ways to mess up on getting to the part that's the furthest I've been, so, waha. Okay, that was something. 420, waha. Already gone insane, but I believe I remember it being a pain. For the sub 5 hours. Yo! Fun part is, if you realize the entire level is like a minute to a minute 30. Oh no, no, absolutely. I've seen that a lot of the seasides are things that they take so long to figure out how to do the first time. And probably, knowing myself, quite a while to replicate, but, look at it so you know how it goes, rather than how it goes. No, I've already looked at last part, Nobo. Part of the problem there, I think part of why I was going with the top path, is because the bottom path, you have a tendency to hit the bouncer low, which makes it harder to get a straight dash to the right over there, I think. Yes, no, there was a slight typo. Yes. Garden implement. Like, I will say, this is the type of thing, this does actually screw me up a lot, so it will take me a while to get through this, but no, I think that going the upper path is, we'll try the bottom path a few more times, give it a fair shake, but I think the upper path is going to set me up for there better. Indeed. 7C run is 7 minutes. That's still absolutely insane. But no, that's, I don't think Celeste is ever going to be something where I'm going back and, like, blitzing through it. But Jump King was probably the first, like, challenging platformer I've done, and as we've seen, it took me 50 hours the first time and 50 minutes the next one. Prefer the upper path too? Okay. I want to try the bottom one a few more times, since I think I very quickly discarded it, but yeah, I think the upper path is, I think it's probably going to be more difficult to get consistently, but will put us in a better end position more consistently. Pow, not pow. You gonna do 7C again? Just for giggles. 200% speed, so I beat it, so it's beaten faster than Johan. Cool. I mean, I don't think it even needs to be 200% speed to beat it faster than me. You did 4C at 2 times game speed, dear god. Is it bad that I've already blanked which one 4C was from my mind? I legitimately don't recall what was in it, and I may be happier that way. Or wait, oh, is that the Oshiro one? That's the Oshiro one, isn't it? Because that is the one I would most, No, it's the wind one. Oh, the wind one is okay. That sounds terrible with extra speed, but that one was actually overall pretty fine, I think. 11,528 deaths in 57 hours for your first 100 completion plus 2 goldens. Whew. Wow. Well, I don't think God, actually, how many total hours am I at so far? Because I think, because 100% completion. Hold up. How many hours does it say I've clocked? Bop. Ba 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 bum ba dum bum bum. I have played 109 hours so far, so don't think we're gonna hit that one. The wind chapter is actually so forgettable. Like, it's a lot, but it seems, I don't know, I think it's fairly doable. Yes, we'll hydrate. Thank you. Much appreciated. Wind, terrible mechanic. Bubbles, way better. But, ha 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 ha. The donkey. Bam, 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 bam. It took me a very long time to learn as a kid that donkeys and mules were separate things. Still both notoriously stubborn, but not exactly the same thing. I guess actually very much different things, despite donkeys being part of the parentage. Ah, no! I was doing so much better on that one. I do think we're starting to achieve a higher density of runs that are making it to the mounts, but... So, I suppose that is a form of progress, but still slow going. Ah, and of course I then say that. Like 5 hours in the Strawberry Jam gyms too that I spent learning mechanics, which helped you a lot. Gotcha. Yeah, I was planning, once I finished the B-sides, to go straight into Farewell, but folks said, you should do the C-sides first. You'll learn things. And you know what? This is fair. I've learned things. It's like a non-swear saying in Spanish that is actually just hilarious to you. Rayos y centellas. Lightning and sparks, which is a substitute. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. It's like, I think I've heard it used in, like, media before, of, like, you know, thunder and lightning as a similar sort of invective. You know, I'm just realizing I used the word invective because I know that it very, like, roughly means strong language, but I don't know the precise definition of it. Invective. Insulting, abusive, or highly critical language. So I guess it wouldn't really be an invective, it's just an exclamation. Did Chapter 9 pre-Seaside. Alright. But I think it was a good call to try and do Seaside first, but I bet I could have done it the other way around. 3C and 8C took you 20 minutes each, respectively after. Ah! So good weight training. Knowing 9 tack on earlier levels is actually insane. Took you 4 minutes to do 7C? Pug, I'm shaking you, please. Maybe I should have, like, put most of my focus on the stream while doing that final room. Wahahaha. Hey, last stream it took 2 minutes. Still. Pain. Tidy up your room a bit. Yay. Absolutely. Clean space. Happy person. I do need to actually, this may sound a bit distressing to people. I need to go through, I do a very good job of, okay. I'm vaguely embarrassed and having a hard time finding the entry point for it, but, so I'm still relatively new to having, like, long hair. I've been growing it out for, like, 4 years at this point, I think. 3-4 years, somewhere in there. But, like, it's still, I'm not used to having it that long, and I've been having to do a lot of effort to try and, like, repair it. And my hair is, like, very dense and curly and tends to get knots and caught on things. And so I try to, like, finger brush it and maintain it so that it doesn't get, like, matted. And I've noticed that sometimes results in little clumps of basically knots that get broken off and fall to the floor, which I try very hard to pick up in the shared spaces of where I live. But, like, in my room, I'm like, I don't know. It's just my hair. I'm not that worried. I need to pick it up. It's not, like, atrocious, but as I'm saying this, I check my room. I'm like, oh, how clean is it? I'm like, there's, like, 6 little mini hair floofs. I should probably deal with that. But my hair's been getting a lot better. It's been very weird trying to, like, figure out how to get my hair healthier. But a lot of that, I think, is just, I like to understand how things work, especially when it comes to, like, medicine, or like, I guess it's not really medicine, but like trying to actively shape my body, and it's been tough for me to find good hair science. Thinking about going for some Seaside Goldens, but wanted to 100% first, which I was able to do today. Oh, hey! That's awesome! Congratulations! I've heard that Seaside Goldens tend to actually be easier than some of the like B-sides and such, so excited for you. Hope that goes well. Feels the hardest versus is the hardest, yes. Well, I think the Seasides are a much higher difficulty curve to learn, but once you have it down, there's less in them so that you can just kind of hammer them out. When I was 6 to 10 years old, I'm 16 right now, I got confused for a girl on a daily basis because of your long hair. Cut it off after that. Oh, see? Other way around. I've been getting confused for a girl a number of times. I'm like, okay. This is fine. Although I do find it funny because I think the only times where I'm ever like, yes, I am feeling masculine and I actually care on any level tend to actually be when I'm wearing a kilt, which, in fairness, is a utilikilt, which is basically a canvas skirt with pockets. But it's my formal wear and makes me feel a bit manly. I did go line dancing at one point, in a utilikilt, and absolutely was mistaken for a girl on a number of occasions. People asking me for a dance, which I will say, somewhat complimentary. That apparently I put on a skirt and people go, "Oh, I would like to dance with this person," but that was not a day where I really wanted that. But still felt nice to know that apparently people would like to dance with me if I'm wearing something skirtish. 2C is funny. I believe my fastest time in 2C was 30 seconds. Damn. Oh, played more I Want a Lockpick. Nice, Robert. Boop, 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 boop. Actually, a lot of my funny stories tend to revolve around wearing a kilt, because I remember I got a purple utilikilt because my school colors were purple, or partly purple. And we had like a day where we were supposed to like wear school attire, or like things promoting the school, which there was one day where basically a like residence activity fell on one of those days. I was wearing this kilt and running around delivering cookies. I think it was like a Halloween, and we were handing out baked goods, and so I'm running around the school delivering cookies to the dorms in my kilt, and there was a guy who started just like following along, not actually helping or anything, just like walking around with me to the various deliveries and arguing with me that kilts were an Irish thing because he'd been to Ireland and saw them there. I'm like, they're kind of a notably Scottish thing. Well, those are the same, aren't they? And I died a little. It was so funny, but I was suffering from pretty strong social anxiousness at the time, and getting confused so often did not really help with that. That is super fair, Claga. No, it's funny because, like, at least for me personally, like, I've settled on a gender identity of I earnestly do not care. But when I was younger, while I was a fairly socially anxious person, I was really happy to be performative. Oh god, no. Like I did theater and whatnot. And I guess that type of thing did not bother me as much because I often would do stuff like that, like a bit as a joke, because I carried along a tradition from the male side of my family of dressing up as Lady Macbeth in a production of Macbeth. Which That's fun. I hope that if I do have a kid and it happens to be a son, I hope we can keep that up, because showing up to like junior high with a dress and balloons for a overly comedic bust, genuinely a really good time. could not for the life of me probably talk to someone new to make a friend at that point, but would happily wear an outfit like that for a joke. 2C is way easier than 1C. Huh. That's, I guess, yeah, I think I had a similar opinion. Oh, I think 1C just like startled me because, oh my god, C-sides, and they were new, but I think 2C felt a bit less daunting. It's bundled with any big mod as a dependency. Oh god, okay. Ba, 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 ba. So, extended variants come packaged with a lot of stuff. 2C way easier than 90. That makes a lot of sense. Oh! Oh god, I need to pause, because I hear the home phone ringing. This is going to be terrible. I will be back in a moment. Wait, do I still have the waiting screen? Sorry, I'm just muting. I will be back in a bit. I'm back. I see that. So while Johan is gone, no. Fortunately, no. Fortunately, a scam call. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, the library where I'm applying to try and get some better positions, the application requested both a home and mobile phone, which, for some reason, they prefer calling the home phone, which is, I feel, is unusual in this day and age. Boop. All right. We chuggeth. Bam. No. Okay, get my groove back. The Ink Blob's new groove. Bam, bum bum, bum 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 bum, bum bum bum, bum 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 bum, bum bum, bum 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 bum, bum 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 bum, bum 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 bum. There we go. No. While singing, everything perfect. Stop singing to actually, like, I don't know, have semi-cogent commentary. I guess it wasn't immediately. But everything falls apart. Call you Royal Ink Majesty to ask you about your POTS extension. I was not expecting that, and I'm a little mad. Very, very nice, Uno. I use controller. I played for about 30 minutes many years ago on keyboard and went, this is not going to work for me. I will play it again when I get a controller. And then I got a controller. Boop, 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 boop. Ah, so many keyboardists. I am the sole holdout of controller? Goodness. I think just diagonal dashes, I was like, this is going to be a requirement, and I do not feel, that feels very unnatural for my hands on a keyboard. Boop, ba, 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 ba. Not that I'm great at using a joystick, but at least it feels more correct to me. Bam, 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 ba-dum. Can't wait for me to play co-op Celeste maps with us in CelesteNet. Oh yeah, and just get absolutely dunked on. such exist as I know. Yeah, no, that's the current plan is once we have finished the Seasides and Farewell, I will figure out Celeste Net and we'll do a couple of streams and we can bop through some stuff. Probably try and figure out like a few goals to aim for. And then we'll probably move on to something else. I believe the next game I probably want to be working through on stream will be The Witness. Boop. Boop, 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 bum, bum, bum. Other jump buttons? Are those, like, mapped to jumping in particular directions? Or is it just, like, an alternate key that you're hoping is easier to hit jump with sometimes? Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so it's two normal jump buttons. A spiked coffee jump? Goodness. Corner kicks are funny. I'm terrified. A spiked coffee jump. I mean... Spiked with what? No, too soon. Oh, your embroidery is turning out stupidly cute. Yay, exciting. Is that something where we will get to see some progress updates in your Discord? They really are fun. Yay. I look forward to learning about them, hopefully. Maybe. No. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see. One. Corner kicks are Grandmaster tech, so have fun with that. Ah, I see. Never mind then. Is the rank above Grandmaster a Great Grandmaster? Or does it get to be like Grandmaster twice removed? Never really got Chained Hypers to work. Grandmaster Plus. Aw, sad. Especially with the abbreviation GM, that just makes me think of like Greenwich Mean Time. I guess that would be GMT, but... Ah yes, I've achieved Greenwich Mean Time +1. Whoop, 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 whoop. Dun dun. Ah, nope. Yeah, let's try going back the top route, I think. Oh, so pluses versus plus numbers? That's probably just two different nomenclatures. You've never beaten a Grandmaster map, Pug? Oh dear god. Okay. Then, yeah, what are my chances? I feel like I'm in kind of a reading slump since I had to stop reading 2 books I didn't really like. That happens. I, too, am in a reading slump, as I think I've discussed ad nauseum. But, like, you know, it happens. And you will get that joy back. Slumps occur, and so does the climb on the other side. I would not touch Pumber with a 10-foot pole. Oh, is Pumber a Grandmaster map? Wait, so did you guys start calling them Pumbers because of that? And then I picked that up, so now, then whenever we're talking about bumpers, I'm just saying, oh, Pumber because haha, name funny. And people are going, oh, this person knows what they're talking about. Oh goodness. They're the Pumber bumpers. No, but, I don't know, Pumber is just so much more fun. Once you beat 9D, you'll beat in a Grandmaster. Ah! Well then, I wish ye good luck. So I assume that, then, there's not a Grandmaster title. That it is... You do not become a Celeste Grandmaster, you are simply a Celeste player who has done Grandmasters. Hardest thing I have ever beaten is Farewell, so jumping from that to Grandmaster don't know. That seems like a reasonable, maybe you want some intermediate steps. Bop, 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 bum, 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 bum. Okay, okay. Bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. What's something that I can have in my head to ground myself that isn't copyrighted? I've been listening, there's like one song from an artist that I started listening to a few weeks back. Artist is Jeffrey Lewis. And there's a lovely little song called Roll Bus Roll about just sort of hopping on like a long haul bus when things just aren't feeling good. And it's just been looping in my head over and over. But it's really nice. It's very pleasant. It makes me feel like going on and just like driving somewhere. But yeah. Gotta go now. Good luck on 7C. Thank you much, Klaga. Thanks for popping in. And best of luck on whatever you're off to do, whether it's sleeping or something else cool and productive in your day. Bye. Boop, boop, boop. Bum 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 bum. Ah, it was not working. Man, it's been a while since we've had a break, and therefore a long time since we've had the Johan noises, isn't it? Oh, I should have hit break when I was throwing and checking on the phone. That would have been the move. The people are deprived of the Johan noises. This is painful. Watching me? Because you're not wrong. Oh, doing it at 1.5 times speed? Goodness. Yeah, that does sound painful. It's painful enough at 1 time speed. Because Pug, as they've put it before, has gone a wee bit insane in like 7C. Yeah. Bum bum ba-da bum bum ba-dum bum ba-da bum 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 ba-da bum bum ba-dum bum ba-da-dum ba-da bum 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 ba-da bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-da bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-da bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-da bum bum wow wow. No, that is not helping me. I thought something to calm and soothe my mind. But all your yarn in a cart, so it's neat and nice and tidy. I did not know I have this much yarn. Ah, time to make more. And then, after you make more, you'll go, oh, but I'm running low on yarn. And then you'll find a lovely sale on yarn and go buy a whole bunch of yarn and go, oh, I have too much yarn, I need to make things, and thus the cycle continues forever and ever. Your hands hurt? Yeah, I can imagine how much more you're going to have to be jamming it from doing it at 1.5 times speed. Dear goodness. I really hate the idea, but kind of love the idea in a please no one ever do this kind of way, but getting someone to just go like, you know what? My hands still have good joints. No arthritis here, no carpal tunnel. Let's do a carpal tunnel speedrun stream, aka an endurance stream where I just play, like, the games that require the most, like, aggressive hand motions. And just, we'll go until my hands start to just not feel right anymore. Jamming it like jammer? What? Who knew clicking buttons at 1.5 times speed that you're supposed to would be a mistake? Crazy, right? Is there a tier list out there of like least ergonomic games? The games that are most hostile to people playing them in the physical world? I think, like, yes, that's part, I'm asking because of this terrible hypothetical, but also, like, legitimately having an ergonomic ranking, I think, could be kind of useful. That's probably a fairly subjective thing, but I know that there are some people that where it's like, you know, they still have full hand mobility, but they need to be careful to not, like, overdo it. that would actually probably be really useful to have. So I have to assume it exists somewhere. Made a back panel for a sweater, but I'm not very good at crocheting, so it's not straight. Ah, well, There's several variations of joke in there about, well, neither is its wearer, right? But, I don't know what to do with the panel now because I don't think a sweater would still work. Aw. Well, I mean, there's always the classic of what I do with knitting and such. Of like, oh, it's not turning out right. Well, seems like a great new blanket and or towel. Or, ooh, I'll just make it longer and then it's a scarf. It's the equivalent of, oh yeah, I know how to make balloon animals. And they're like, oh, sure, show us. And then you hand them just one long balloon and it's like, it's a worm or it's a snake. Similar to, man, I am such a good artist. You would not even know. If you hand me a blank canvas, I will paint you a perfect recreation of my most famous work, Polar Bear in a Snowstorm from Behind. And then you just don't paint anything. Want to frog the entire thing or tie it off? For someone who does not do much in the way of crocheting, could you please elaborate as to what frogging it would be? The first 2 rooms took like 2 minutes and now I've been stuck on the final room for 15 minutes? Ah, so like time equivalent breakdown closer to what I'm doing. Oh, pulling it apart. Oh, okay. Not like handing it over to the frogs and gifting them like a little bowl of flies and then you come back in the morning and it's been done, like kind of like leaving out like a little bowl of milk for little fey spirits to like do your chores. Because I'm gonna be real, I would love that, but that seemed a little far-fetched. Carpal tunnel speedrun like my latest Mario Maker level. Uh-oh. But yeah, I don't know, like I genuinely I'm really curious if there's a video game ergonomic ranking. What pattern I made, so I'm sad the rest didn't turn out great. Aw. Too scared to just tie it off? Ah. My room straight up frogging it, and by it, let's just say my crochet. No. Okay, but okay. Here's the thing, though. I know what you seem to be implying, but when you said in my room straight up frogging it, what first came to my mind was the way one sits, because I think I've mentioned that Meat Han is a little weirdly flexible. Like can put legs behind my head, and when I was young, little baby Meat Han would sometimes just sit like that, or would also sometimes sit like with my arms under my knees. So basically, like, picture sort of like popping a squat, but your butt is on the ground and then your arms are under where your knees would be in relation to that. And that was what was in my head for straight up frogging it. I used to do that while practicing. I got really interested when I was like 8, I think, in Tuvan throat singing. And was working on how to do that, which took me a very long time. I still don't think I do it quite right. I think I'm probably doing like a weird equivalent of the overtone singing that more like European classically trained vocalists can do. Because one of the big things I've noticed about throat singers is that they can produce the main tone and the overtone with their mouth closed. I've only done that a few times. I don't quite get what I'm doing differently. But in any case, you would have little baby Meat Han sitting in that weird position, alone in my room, making the most ungodly guttural noises, trying to figure out how to throat sing, which may also be a contributing factor as to why I think of that as frogging it, but I used to be able to put my legs by my head, and now when I bend down, my knees pop. Yeah, I know I'm going to pay for the flexibility at some point. Call a priest. That's fair. No, Meat Han Lord, to be clear. And hey, welcome in, Quote. Sent you the reading list. I'm sorry that took so long to compile, and I realized while making it that a lot of books that I was thinking to recommend were ones that I read when I was like pretty young, which don't inherently make them bad, but I'm like, I don't know if The Familiars is going to be something that quote's looking for. Don't worry, didn't even check. Oh yeah, no worries. But I've given you a list of some things that I have read that were interesting and maybe interesting still to adults. Thank you for the hydrate. And I was also mentioning, I did start watching Freerun Quote. So I'm about halfway through and enjoying it thoroughly. Boop. No. Bum. Bum 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 bum. And up. There we go. Okay. For the ounce. No. Okay, but still. We can make this work. That is, I think, the first time we actually got a dash in there today. So we're working on it. Going to a concert tomorrow. Oh, the K-pop singer? Exciting. Hope that is as much of a blast as it sounds like it's gonna be. Boop. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. No! Ah. Bump. Boop. I need to go to concerts again. I need to think about, Dropkick Murphys are a lovely Celtic punk band, that, always do a, St. Patrick's Day, concert. I think they're based out of Boston, Massachusetts. But they always live stream the St. Patrick's Day concert, and I'm like, I might buy tickets for that, because they also typically donate to charities that I like, so we'll see. But I suspect I'm also going to be kind of busy, so my god, I'm stupid. I paused the stream to go reply to someone on Discord. I have done the same kind of thing, quote, where I'm like, oh, I'll just pause the stream and then catch back. Oh, right, it's a live thing. Genius. No. Don't worry, there's not too much happening. Just vibing. Okay. Boing, boing, boing. Boing, 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 boing. Boop. Okay. Dash, dash. Feather it. No. Yeah, you need to be getting a pretty straight dash just to the side of that. I need to get that locked in, because once I can do that, if I can get that motion down, we'll be cruising. I think this is honestly reminding me a little bit of, God, is it Bargainsburg? Is that the Jump King one, the Jump King area where the chimney jump is? Because I'm kind of getting the little split path there before we go into the spiky crystal maze. It's kind of making me think of the chimney jump, where you're doing all of this prep work that is sometimes a little difficult, but like you're starting to get it down, and then you hit that jump, and you gotta learn to get that just right. Bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Boing. Bounce. Oh, no! That was the right positioning, but I hesitated. No hesitation. That shall be the Madeline way. Bum. I say hesitating on that jump. Um. Okay. Boop. Boop. Ah. You know, for all of the time we spent in this level, I don't think I've actually spent that much time looking at the scenery, because I'm kind of focused, but God, is the background gorgeous. Lovely sort of pink and orange sunset. We live in a 5-hour-long sunset, which, you know what? I'm not all that opposed to. I did actually get into a discussion at one point with someone about, like, why humans are still choose to be diurnal, because I'm a really, really big fan of the night. And, like, I enjoy sunrise and sunset, but if you're awake during the nighttime, that can, you know, still work. You know, because it's those are the in-between times. But I don't know, like, I like being outside at night more. The temperature is usually more in alignment. It's prettier. It tends to be quieter, although part of that is because there aren't as many people out and about. But I don't know. I think if I could get more people that I care about to be nocturnal with me, I would probably be fine being fully nocturnal. That was horrible. 30 minutes. Oh no. I mean, from what you have said, from what you can do, that does sound like a terribly long time. Me looking at the 5 hours having ticked by, I think you're still doing fine. 7C 1.5. But what about 7C2? Would that... Do you think that going up to 2 times speed would make it faster or slower? No, I'm guessing slower. Possibly a did not finish. Oh. Is it also possible to do things on, like, slower speed? That timer doesn't speed up with the game speed? Ah, okay. Well, but it would still allow you to... If you have perfect play and aren't dying a bunch, having the faster speed would increase the speed with which you can do that, right? Yeah, okay. But you're also probably way more likely to, as you said, hands hurt, so on and so forth, to simply be sad. To do an entire save file at 1.5 times speed? Oh my god. The thing is, I do wonder if doing an entire save file like that might... It might make stuff get a lot easier, because you would start building... I think that the game being at 1.5 times speed, just like from the get-go, would probably be inherently a harder game. But I think part of what probably makes it so difficult is you build muscle memory at a certain speed, and then you're performing similar actions, but need to do it without relying on that. And anything where you're having to basically fight what your body remembers tends to be a lot tougher. So doing an entire save file like that, you might get better at it, but then I'd also be worried about what happens to your normal speed gameplay. Would you remember? Boop. Okay. You know, putting it at 1.5 times speed weirdly didn't mess with you as much as you thought it would, huh? Wonky. Because I know a lot of times when I do something where it's just like slightly different, I tend to screw up a lot more, because I tend to try and execute the wrong script and have to fight it. The only thing that I got messed up with was falling speed. Ah. Yeah, well, that makes good sense, because that's something where that's a gravity constant that you start to build that, like, oh, I fall at this rate unless I'm pressing down. And human brains are very good, generally speaking, at calculating, like, collision courses and whatnot. I assume that we're leveraging those systems when we're playing games. No! Almost like my brain was just like bet and sped up with the game. Damn. That's an impressive skill. If you're ever caught in some sort of weird time bubble that accelerates things, you're already prepared. Oh, I want to get a few more runs in the dash tunnel. I want to feel like there was progress. I'm going down. I'm yelling sadness. I better move so I won't regret. Completely unrelated, but the witness will be fun when I do that. I'm excited for it. Because it sounds like it's got some seems like there's a lot of enjoyment overlap with Lingo, and Lingo was the type of puzzle game that clicked well for me, so excited for that kind of dealio. I am also excited, man. I've been having such trouble like getting my brain to sit down and do the pre-records, but I'm hoping I can bribe and cajole myself with I've got all of these games I'm excited to play. I just picked up Ori and the Blind Forest since it was on a pretty good sale, and the 7 days to be with you? Question mark? Maybe just 7 days with you, but the sort of linguistic, the language interpretation game that I was like, oh, that's kind of like Chance of Sonarin by the same studio as the personality test one. As you know, basically have the entire game memorized, yes. So we have the ultimate code book. Something's going wrong. Hug! Save my butt? No. I bet we can do it. I have faith. Bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. A dashing we will go, a dashing we will go. Hi-ho, Johanio, a dashing we will go. No! Boop, 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 bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Oh, no! Oh. I am starting to flag, but we will see. I'm hungry for progress. Not justice, but progress. I do think I have a tendency to, when I'm getting to that point, especially in like Celeste, but when I'm getting to that point where I'm starting to flag, I don't know quite what it is. I don't know what the differentiator is, but there are some days where, like today, I think I'm talking a lot less. I'm having a much harder time like just going, oh, haha, oh, topic. And I'm not just rambling as much as I normally do, whereas I think there are other days when I'm frustrated and I start to just talk and ignore the game kind of thing. I don't know what the exact difference is, but I think I either tend to get way more talkative or way less. Ah, yes. Clark is good. I like a lot of his stuff. He's, of the big three, I think he's the one who does kind of the most with like religion, which is not something I'm like typically very big on, but he does interesting things with it. But yeah, Clark is good. Asimov, yeah, I know I recommended a number of those on there. I still haven't actually read, I don't know if I've read any Felt K deck. I think we've talked about this before, but that is one I should actually remember. I am excited. I did get Earth Abides, the audiobook. My hold finally came in today, so I'll get to chip away at that. But yeah, I should be I'm trying to get my hands on like the Android stream. You know, what's also sad is when I'm trying to think of Philip K. Dick books, that's the only one that's coming to my mind, which it really shouldn't, because I know we've had discussions about how there's a lot of other good stuff by him. I think Tim was reading some stuff. Read Minority Report ages ago. You'll never guess on what you read it. A Kindle? It's funny because Minority Report, I don't know about. No, not on Kindle. Okay. Because I think I've seen jokes made about Minority Report as like, this is something that's obviously in the cultural consciousness, but I don't think I actually, A, I didn't recognize that was a book, and B, did not recognize that was Philip K. Dick. A Nokia 2760. Nice. Man, I haven't thought about Nokia in a long time. Boop. I've been doing a lot for doing like budgeting recently, and I keep forgetting that I tend to like when I am trying to budget for things, I tend to severely overestimate costs. But I think that's a good thing, because I'd rather be pleasantly surprised by how little it costs compared to what I expected than otherwise. But I think that's just oftentimes my brain is like, ah, yes, this is the expensive thing, but then I typically find stuff on deals. But simply reminded because I was like, my phone's still doing pretty good, but occasionally it gets like a little green line through it and such. I'm like, I should probably be keeping an eye out in case stuff goes. I need to pick up a new Chromebook, because that little guy has been chugging for, God, like 6-7 years, and Buddy the case is starting to crack, and I think had the last software update like 3 years ago, and has been slowly losing the ability to use some of the services I tried to use it for. And it seems that even like G Suite services are no longer supported at the level of Chrome it's on, so need to probably get a new one. But I will never again get a touchscreen Chromebook, because, man, those things, it seems so neat in principle, and then it broke, because the hinge structure is so bad that, yeah, I never again. Chromebooks will only ever, for me, be something that is meant to be. I need ones that are as indestructible as possible, tiny, and just basically can do G Suite things. There's this program to convert text files into .jar apps to install on a phone. I ended up reading several books on your flip phone in the early 2000s thanks to that. Oh, neat! That seems like a really good way of doing that on flip phones, because, yeah, I'm trying to think of the last non-smartphone I had, and yeah, I don't think I ever would have even considered reading a book on that. Although, in fairness, at that point, the internet feature on phones was still something where if my cursor ever had to like go over it or accidentally flicked it up, I nearly crapped myself, because I didn't want to have to pay for the internet plan. As opposed to these days where I'm like, yeah, what color are bananas? Okay, Google, tell me. To be clear, I hope I know the color of bananas. But, no, I will ask some very inane questions sometimes. Always big fan of using devices for purposes other than what they're meant for. Really? From you? No. Deeply surprising. The device shall not get to dictate how I use it. It is something I have paid for, and I will find ways to make work for me. And you know, generally behind that. And then sometimes I watch a friend use a screwdriver for scribing metal and cry on the inside. Why do a lot of books not have trigger warnings? Uh-oh. So I assume in a lot of cases, that's something where there's probably websites for that. I know that for me, as someone who like gets worried about blood a lot, there was a website for, at least for a while, I don't know if it's still around, because I stopped using it as much once I figured out that I can just watch stuff in black and white. But there was a website called like Kids in Mind that usually did a pretty good job of stuff. So there's probably something that can do something similar. See, Kindles are meant for reading books, but have you thought of writing a book on it? Okay, no I haven't, but more because I have things that are great for typing books, and the Kindles I have are, like, pretty close to those old, old Nokia phones, which seems really, whoa. Books should definitely have trigger warnings. I mean, again, and I say this as someone who does not have a whole lot of triggers. That is not something I have a super strong feeling on, but I will certainly agree that there are a lot of books that probably would benefit from. We get into some stuff. Your pocketbook does not write well. That's, yeah, I like having an actual keyboard. So I live in constant fear of you, quote. I tremble. You ignore trigger warnings, is that good or bad? I mean, like, that's your choice, right? Like, ultimately, if it's not gonna bother you, you're taking on that responsibility. So I don't think that's a good or bad thing. I think it's a bad thing if you ignore them and then get angry that they didn't exist, but doesn't sound like you do. Tried writing a book on your Nokia, but turns out the Notes app did not allow for a whole lot of text. I can imagine. I think I managed to finish one short story. That still seems impressive to me. Where I just casually said, oh yeah, this person's gonna off herself. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I am someone who tends... I think I tend a bit more towards, like... I am someone who tends to be fairly averse to media regulation in a lot of ways, of just, like, video game warnings and whatnot, but that's also just, I think a lot of times I'm bothered by the origins of it, because a lot of times it's been for, like, parental control, which I'm like, ugh. As, like, a common decency thing, I'm not sure that bothers me as much, but it still just is sort of like, I don't know. Because it's also just, like, a lot of times... I guess there are some things that would probably just be, like, generally reasonable to list. But I also, at the same time, yeah, no, that's... I had not given that a lot of thought, and this is probably not the best place to be parsing through those thoughts. But yeah, I think I have a general aversion to media labeling from the perspective of I'm used to that being used to basically promote a lot of I see that being used as a soft censorship in a lot of cases, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I also don't have an issue with people being able to be informed about the media they consume. I had not processed that I had those two sort of conflicting things. Guess I'm not going to be typing a lot per today because playing 7C.15 was a mistake. Yeah, this is fair. That's maybe it's a voice to text kind of day. Boop. Bum bum bum. I guess it's also particularly funny to me that I have, like, a bit of an aversion to media labeling because, like, my life would have been markedly better with better, like, labeling of blood in media, but at the same time, the degree of granularity that I would have needed it to be, I think is probably unreasonable. So that might also be part of it, is I view the things that bothered me as being like, an exception that would not be reasonable to foist on others. Weird. Yeah, no, I'm gonna need to think about this more. Left arm, the one that controls Wasi, just hurts now, so that's fun. Oh, ugh. Where's the biomechanical arm when you need it? Just get an extra one you can pop on to replace it. Control with your brain, nice and easy. Get the spare arm out of the closet. Boop. Boop, boop. Ah, no. Oh. Okay, come on. Ah. Sloppy. Getting very sloppy. In any case, sorry, I got off on whole other thing there. I'm sorry that the book had an unpleasant surprise like that, Ollie. That is not fun. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, bum, 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 bum. Okay. No! It was a whoop jump scare. Yes. You've reminded me. Some of the escapades of trying to expose young Meat-Han to movies that my parents enjoyed. I still have not watched any Indiana Jones because I forget which one they tried to start me off with, but it was the one that has the like classic running away from a boulder scene. And I mean, it's like right off the bat, and there's a guy that gets killed on like a spike trap, which had just the barest little skosh of blood. It was mostly just being shocking of like, oh, person dead. But still, that little bit of blood was enough to make me like scream and feel queasy and run away. And I have not ever gone back and watched any of the Indiana Jones films. Just because I think that has scarred me at a childhood point, so it's hard to get over that, but I should probably fix that. Similar, I've never actually watched Logan's Run, because my parents swore up and down, like, no, there's no blood in this. We remember, you know, we watched it fairly recently. First scene, or not first scene, but like right off the bat again, and it was such cheesy fake blood, but little baby Meat-Han was like, nope, and I've been betrayed. My trust, I trusted you, and you told me you were certain. Because it's just a lot of times, like I have gotten better with it. The Indiana Jones blood I think is way worse in my memory than it really was, but I remember the Logan's Run one pretty well. And like it was a fine amount. Like I could easily deal with that at this point. Like it was like Star Trek the original series. I fell off a cliff and now I'm, oh god, and now I'm lightly bleeding from the corner of my mouth kind of blood, which I think I've referred to as like hero blood. But yeah, no, little baby Meat-Han, no, could not. That was far too much. And it's like, I don't blame my parents for not noticing it, because it's like, why would you? Okay, let us... How do I want to give myself an exit strategy? Whoa. No. Let's just say 5 more. They don't even necessarily need to be good runs, but let's not like not super terrible runs, not ones where I feel utterly disappointed. So we'll do 5 more to sort of like, yeah, that felt all right. Okay. Did that feel all right? No, see, I made it too vague. You gotta set points. Otherwise, you do stuff like that where it's like, oh, well, that was unsatisfying, but was it enough? John? Yes? Nobo Thartis? Pro tip, don't die. Look, man. Okay. Ah! Well, that right there certainly does not look like me following advice. Bam, bam. No sub 5? Oh no, we have not been sub 5 for a while. Okay. Bong, 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 bong. Okay. I think getting past that point. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, howdy, Essie. No. We're just hitting that. We need to start counting the runs thing. So I'm not going to say get out, but you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here soon. The wise words of closing time. It's closing stream. One last call for... Certainly not alcohol. Probably get my quarter from Meanie Nobo. Aww. Do we need to get no... See, okay. Here's something that I think is a very, very big... 7C is eternal. It feels like it, honestly. I think big missed opportunity for Twitch is not allowing, like, just a certain number of custom badges. So, like, just let partners and affiliates, like, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 badges that are just not subscriber badges, just for fun badges, so that we could get like a little, meanie hat. A meanie hat badge that we could pass around to whoever is being the most mean. Big man Blastoise. Yes, echoing Essie. Thank you for the insightful commentary. I wake up, turn on the news, and it's like, pee pee poo poo. Big man Blastoise. I'm like, so true. So true. What a world we live in. It's been too much of it on the news recently. I like the highlight. I tried really hard to figure out how to get the highlights to show up in the chat overlay, but... Ah! Flip! Thank you! I always feel a little bit like, one of the trained monkeys. Throw in a peanut and I, like, jump up and do a flip to catch it. Don't get sick from the flips. Oh. Oh, wait. Oh, you've given me a terrible, terrible idea. I am the original Skywalker. Ah, flip! I have an idea for a visual gag. We'll think on that one. Okay. One attempt. Okay. This is a real one. Woo! This is a live one. No! Sad. Make ink puke at like the 3rd bit, something like that, yeah. I am the only Nobo Thurtus. I think I'm way overpronouncing that. Z pronounced like TH. Yes. I think I'm giving it too much, but I remembered. Existence of Nobothurtus. Nobothurtus implies the existence of one Nobothurta, or unvoiced. Yeah, I don't know, because I have not. I guess I haven't listened to as much like mainland Spanish or European Spanish, because a lot of what I've heard has been like Latin American. So I'm used to the s that has s and isn't plural. It's not Nobothurtas, it's Nobothurtus. Mother's surname is almost... My mother's surname was almost both 30s. I don't know why just Bo anything really gets me. I think for some reason, like, the name Bojangles comes to mind. No, it's just, it's somehow leaving off the no just made it sound completely different in my brain. It activated the haha Bojangles funny name. All Bothertus rather than no Bothertus. I'm not saying I'm your mom, however. Man, now that would be some lore. Yes, Bothertus. Your mom may be dead. Or ran off to Spain and is now posing as a member of my Twitch chat. Trying to reconnect. God, that would be, imagine the level of scheming that would require. Your sister calls you Bobo? Oh, she was definitely dead? Fair enough. Fair enough. But no, I'm now just legitimately picturing someone being like, what if I prank my kid? What if I prank my kid, abandon them, and then, like, run off to a foreign country and reconnect with them through Twitch chats? Oh, I mean, silly, aw. No, I'm not saying I am your sister. The family grows. Okay, for reals, we're just gonna do 5 more come hell or high water, cause I'm slipping. 1. Whoa. We going. Okay. No! 2. Okay. The world of Bob Is You fan games on Scratch is weird? Yeah. Noble Bob. Who's your dad? I do not know. Presumably your dad. Bob. Oh no, Bobo. Okay. Not saying Pug is my actual cat. However, I mean, he is an actual cat. Best of luck to you, Ollie. But when end stream? That was the 3rd one, so in 2 more runs. That's 4. Come on. Leave on a good note. Whoa. Alright. Good night, Ollie. Best of luck in your day's endeavors. Alright. That was our 5. At least you didn't miss anything. This is true. No real progress. We're getting some of it. We are capable of doing the lead up to the dash maze. We keep getting into the dash maze and I'm uncertain in it and I'm taking too long to like keep up the dashing. So I need to be more confident and bold, I think. But we're gonna call that for today. We had some fun. We were vibing. We were having a good time, and that's most of what's important. Yeah. Oh, looks like Shifu is live. Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. That is not one I can watch, but let's give some folks some cool Zelda times. This has been quite lovely. Thank you all for cheese you later. All right. You were always here in the background. This has been lovely. Thank you all, even if you were living in the walls. I must for now bid you adieu, but I will not be able to catch you Wednesday most likely. There's a chance that we may do something in the morning from like 10 a.m. my time, but I have a shift that day, so we'll see what happens. But certainly next Monday. In any case, thank you all very much, but for now, bye! We will hydrate. Thank you. And that actually polishes off my drink. Perfect. Bye. Oh, the work was fun, but the wages low. Leave her, Johan, leave her. I guess it's time for us to go, and it's time for us to leave her.